Is this on? Can you hear me? Hi, y'all. How's it going? How's your first day at PoshFest? Fabulous? Woo! Well, we are so close to the fun happy hour, but before that, we have an amazing conversation today with Tiffany. I know Nicole just gave a little bit of an overview about her, but I want to do a deep dive into her background because you guys are in for a treat. Tiffany is a styling expert, okay? So you may have heard of a couple of her clients. I don't know, does anybody know Shawn Mendes? How about Kane Brown? Yes, there we go. The late Angus Cloud, any Euphoria fans in the house? She's worked with all of them, okay? All very different styles, but somehow she's gonna give us all the tips and the tricks and the secrets about how to embrace and just wear what works for you. So you may have seen additionally some of her looks on Vogue, GQ, Esquire, Vanity Fair, Harper's Bazaar, E! News. I mean, the list could go, I could be here for 30 minutes just talking about all of her accolades, but
this is too much.
I think I just want to jump in because I'm trying to tell you guys, she's got some street cred, okay? Like, you're in for a treat today.
Hi, Mallory.
Hi.
Thanks for having me. Hi, guys.
I'm so happy you're here.
I'm so happy I'm here.
Are you ready to jump in?
I'm ready to just nerd out and
like
chat
all the way in.
Different things that we're passionate about.
Personal style, okay? Everybody has it. They should have one, right?
They do have it.
There's no playbook on how to know what your personal style is. How do you find it? How do you even know, is this working for me? Do I like it? Do I just see it on Instagram? So when you have a new client, they come to you and they say, what do I want to be? How do I go about finding what works for me? How do you even get started?
I mean, it's like any journey to self-discovery. It takes time, lots of experimentation, and a little bit of bravery. So when a client comes to me for the first time and we're doing a fitting, I always ask them the same question: what's inspiring you? You know, have you seen a movie lately and you love the colors or the shapes and the storyline of the clothes? For me, it's really about telling a story through clothes, you know, finding your narrative. That's how you find personal style. Something I always say is, fashion you can buy, style starts with you, and it really does start with
I love that.
The story that you're telling through clothes. It's like the clothes are, you know, supporting actors in our life movie. So it's really finding that narrative in that story.
That's a good one. So there's lots of trends out there. I think
Too many.
Get on Instagram, you're on TikTok, you're at the grocery store, I don't know, you're seeing something. And there's a lot of pressure sometimes, right, to buy something personally or to stock your Posh closet with a certain type of category or an item that may not really be your vibe or your style, but you feel like you have to, you know, jump in on what's latest and greatest. How do you help decipher? How do you help people sort of figure out, like, you may not need that even though it's everywhere?
Really, it's like, how do you sift through the noise, right? I think that rather than creating a space for a trend based on what the fashion community has said, this is a trend, ask yourself if that trend fits into your own personal style. You know, some of the most iconic fashion gurus out there that I can think of, their style is cool because it's authentic. You know, I think authenticity is something that we're longing for kind of in everything, not just in fashion and the way we dress. So I think that if you stick to that authenticity, you're good. That being said, I do love embracing a new trend and trying to find that challenge to make it your own. So just do it in a way where you're not losing your self-branding.
That's great advice. Speaking of trends, what do you have your eye on right now?
Speaking of trends,
let's
talk about trends.
What are you on Poshmark looking for? What are you sort of like trying to get, you know, in your repertoire for your clients and yourself personally?
Okay, it's a hard question because there's so many, but I think this season going right into spring 2024, there's an emphasis on timelessness. Ooh. That's kind of like a catchword in fashion right now. A lot of people are using it, and really just like how to future-proof your wardrobe. And when we think of timelessness, especially in this room, we think of vintage, we think of thrifting. And a lot of the trends that I'm gonna talk about today, you can absolutely find at a thrift store. Starting with this trend, I hate the name, it's called corporate. Really, it's just a riff off of that quiet luxury trend that we kept seeing because we love
wealth.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys have watched that show Succession. I'm a huge fan. Not so much of the style because it feels a little bit like too clean to me, but it's really about the luxe fabrics and focusing on that. So pinstripes, ties, anything that is menswear inspired, I obviously love. Another big trend, which we all have in our closet, is a crispy white collared shirt. We all have that.
So classic.
Huge trend, classic, timeless. And the last trend I'll talk about, which is one of my favorites, is the most perfect black overcoat. So think of like 80 shoulders, big lapels, something that when you put it on, it kind of just like changes the way you stand.
I like that.
Don't you find that clothing does that to you? Like you could be having a really bad day and then you put on the sickest outfit and you're like, oh, there I am.
You feel good. You're kind of like, let me put a little pep in my stuff.
So find that coat. And I mean, you could find it at a thrift store for sure.
Okay, I think those are really great pieces, and I'm really interested in your perspective on how do you take some of those trends and apply them personally, right, which I think we just talked about, but then professionally, like in your posh closet, or do you feel like there should be a very similar look and feel to what you're selling to what you wear?
Again, it's really just about the things that I touched on, authenticity, and not necessarily what you're wearing, but how you wear it. Like finding that story and staying authentic to you. Like, I think that we're in a really exciting time in fashion where I was actually having this conversation with a customer outside at my booth, and she's like, we're in a really exciting time in fashion. I'm like, yeah, we are. There's no seasons, there's no right and wrong. And I feel like the Poshmark community understands this. We all sort of make our own stuff, and we're like the artisans of the world, which is again like sort of a lost art. So I applaud you guys. You guys are doing a great job. But yeah, it's really, if you stick to that authenticity and telling the story that you want to tell and expressing yourself, like really, it doesn't matter what you're wearing. It could be a jeans and t-shirt situation, and it's when I talk about my clients and they put it on and they change the way they walk on the red carpet, it's really that like swag that makes the look really cool.
They know they look good.
Yeah.
Just feel good.
They feel good, yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier about inspiration, sort of that being one of the starting places or the places that you go back to when you're looking for, new trends. And I'm curious, what are some of the places or the ways that you look for inspiration? Do you have a favorite city, a restaurant, a bookstore? Where does Tiffany go for inspo?
These are hard questions, Mal. I'm like, I know I'm supposed to streamline my answer and be like, I look at Vogue.com and Pinterest.
No.
But honestly, I think that when you're seeking inspiration and you're trying to find a real like euphoric moment, you need to have the right frame of mind. You have to be open and willing and inviting to just like let it all in. It's almost like that moment in Matrix when Neo sees the Matrix for the first time. Yeah. That's like the pocket that you want to be in to get like real inspiration.
I love that.
That being said, I do look at historical costume and retro fashion.
Ooh.
Perhaps that's why I'm obsessed with vintage. But I look at old films and photography and a lot of like musical icons like Miles Davis, Jimi Hendrix, Robert Plant. I love unpacking why their style was so iconic and why we still talk about it today. I find that so interesting.
Why is it so relevant? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So really it's like, not to sound cheesy, but the environment around you is your canvas and you actually do have every single color in your hand already.
I love that.
Yeah.
So at Poshmark, one of our core values is embracing your weirdness, right? We show up in what you feel good in, what you love. Don't worry about what the crowd is wearing. So this is a twofold. I didn't put this question in here, but what would you say is the weirdest thing you have in your closet?
Oh my God. I mean, the thing is, I don't think it's weird. I think it's cool. So my dad is actually a drummer. He was a famous drummer in Mexico. He played with like Carlos Santana in the 70s. So I come from that lineage. And he collected vintage t-shirts. And there's this t-shirt from this drum store, really abstract. And it's cut up. It doesn't fit me well. It looks so bad every time I put it on, but I still put it on.
Sentimental.
Yeah,
you gotta wear it.
It's emotional. So like, I don't know if it's weird. Maybe it looks weird, but I still love it.
Do you have a weirdest thing that a client's asked you to source for them?
Too many. but I signed NDAs, so I can't really say anything.
Dang it, guys. I tried to get some scoop.
many.
Okay, so in all seriousness, sometimes, I think you said it perfectly. We wear things and we don't think it's weird. We love the cut, we love the color, it looks good on us. But maybe we show up to dinner and everyone's kind of like, Mallory, did you mean to wear that? Like, does that really work? So what sort of advice do you have for people that are standing firm, they love it, it looks good, it's for them, but they may be met with a little bit of like, from their friend groups?
I think first I would hug them, because I'm a hugger, and I would congratulate them on being their most authentic self, and it's not easy, especially nowadays when we're being bombarded with so much information on what to do and how to do it. And then I would remind them that throughout history, the people that really moved the needle, especially in fashion, were the ones that were embracing their weirdness.
Yep.
People like Coco Chanel. Mm-hmm. I mean, we know Coco Chanel, right? She's like not really a big deal, but kind of a big deal.
We know her. We love her. Yes.
She put woman in pants for the first time.
Yes.
So, the reason why we're wearing pants today. Was she met with challenging moments? Absolutely. Did she do it anyways? Yes, because she needed to express herself and land her own plane. And I do remember, personally speaking, in high school, and when I was looking at this question, I was like, wait, I had a moment like that too. Like, I remember people around me just kind of saying things about like the pop of color in my shoe or the way that I put something together, and I still did it. I needed to express myself in that way.
I love it, yeah.
So I would say embrace your weirdness, keep being a change maker. I see you, and if you want to unpack further, I'm just right outside and we can have a session.
Okay, last question. What is Tiffany looking for on Poshmark right now? What's on your searches? What do you have to have? What's a vintage item that you just are like still on the hunt for?
I am looking for quilted anything. Like, I found this quilted blanket and I turned it into a blazer. So I love the patchwork. Maybe
so
patchwork
chic.
Is really what I'm looking for.
All things patchwork. Awesome.
Yeah.
You guys, I think we're getting close on time, but I want to thank Tiffany, her candid conversation, her perspective. You guys go visit her booth. She has her own clothing line that she's actually selling, Everyday Lords. We had a model out here earlier, so whoever won the raffle, lucky you. There she is, right down the middle. The runway, it's perfect. So please go if you have any other questions, if you want to buy, if you want to learn more. Maybe you'll get some more scoop that I was not able to get with these NDAs, but thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of PoshFest.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Mallory.
Thank you, Tiffany.
I mean,